What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one was played at the WCS in Leipzig and was the semifinal of that tournament. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of Neon Violet Square LE, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently known as the best player on the planet, and he is leading this series 1-0 and wants to keep this series rolling in his favor. His name is Serral. And his opponent spawning top left-hand corner of the map, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's currently down in the series, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is SpeCial. So guys and girls, game number 1 was a classic situation of watching Serral do what he does best, and that is, guys, his defense is probably the best in the world, and then he just simply counterattacked his opponent after the overextension by SpeCial, and kind of just slowly but surely overtook SpeCial's base, and just completely swallowed that army whole with the Lingbane Hydra classic composition. So I'm going to be very interested in this game to see really how SpeCial reacts to this. Okay, so he's down, 0-1 to the best player on the planet. How would you, play this game if you are SpeCial? Would you go ahead and just play a very standard macro focus game, or would you go ahead and get a little bit aggressive? And I think, guys, I would actually do the latter. I think I would decide this game to get a little bit aggressive on Serral, because we all know what Serral does. I mean, Serral is one of these players that plays a very standard macro game. He will go for the quick 3 bases most likely in this game, because he basically does the same type of build almost every single game. He's almost becoming like an innovation, except he's even harder to stop than innovation is. I mean, it's unbelievable how good Serral has gotten at the game of StarCraft 2. He's so good at his defense, and then of course his offense is just as good. So it'll be interesting, to say the least, what we see here in game number 2. It looks like Serral, he goes for that standard hatch gas pool opener, and then it looks like he's going to go ahead, get the Zergling speed upgrade, and then go for that 3rd hatchery here. And on the opposite side, SpeCial seems to be doing a pretty standard build as well. He goes for that barracks into the orbital command, and then of course going for the factory, and then the natural command center. So looks like something similar. I'm assuming, yeah, we're going to see double Hellions coming out of the factory right now. And then we're seeing a proxy starport. So this is an interesting build. Okay, so SpeCial, it seems like what he's going to go ahead and do is most likely either Liberators, or maybe we'll see Banshees early on in this game. Now, interestingly enough, Serral is kind of just moving across the map here with some of these Zerglings, just trying to see if he can find anything strange going on. There is going to be, of course, a Reaper out on the playing field now, and a couple of those Hellions as well. Serral is trying to see if there's any builds that, any like timing builds that he does, that he needs to catch before there is, a little bit of some damage that is dealt. We're going to see a Reaper, as well as a couple of those Hellions are going to start taking on a couple Queens. Not the greatest decision, so it looks like they're going to back off, at least at this point. It does look like Serral is once again going to run one Zergling into that main base, and is going to see exactly what is going on. And not seeing that there is a starport in that main base may be a trigger that something is not right. So we're going to have to see, is our Zerg player going to go ahead and put down some Spore Crawlers here shortly. We are going to see 4 of those Hellions are going to be coming straight towards the main base location, and it's going to be landing here very, very shortly, and it does look like they're going to try to do as much damage as possible, and this is exactly what SpeCial wants to do. The barbecue just comes in. Beautiful play by SpeCial, and this is what he does best. You are going to have to, be very cautious about what is going on with SpeCial throughout this game, because I think it looks like SpeCial is going to go back to doing what he does best, and that is, simply put, going for the significant draw play. And SpeCial is probably one of the best in the world at the draw play with the Terran pieces. Now, it does look like Serral's going to go ahead. He's going to get his lair going. He's also got that Baneling nest now out. So we're going to see probably at least, we're going to see Ling and Bane. The question that I'm wondering is, are we going to start seeing, is going to be a Ling-Bane Hydra composition once again? We are going to see once again some of these Hellions going to be moving towards that third base, trying to get as many kills as possible. It looks like they do sacrifice themselves to get more drones. This is massive for SpeCial. Beautiful play here by SpeCial, and this is so annoying if you're the Zerg player to have to deal with this. It does look like those queens are going to try to snipe that medevac, are not going to be successful, and while this has all been going on, SpeCial now is going to go ahead, get his third command center up and running, and he's moving into the armory. He's also going to go for the double engineering base, try to get those +1/+1 upgrades, most likely for, of course, the ground-based units. He's got Stimpack that's researching as well. So, interestingly enough, it looks like there's going to be a pretty heavy ground-based unit composition for SpeCial. The question is what is Serral going to do? You know, because Serral, obviously, it doesn't seem like he's really shown his cards yet. He's really just droning up. And so this has actually put him behind a little bit, I think. And that's something that is definitely good for if you are SpeCial. You kind of have delayed Serral a little bit as far as, you know, getting to where he wants to be in the macro game. But at the same time, I mean, you know, Serral is definitely not out of this game just yet. It's not like he is completely, you know, out of this game. But you've got to be very, very careful. +1/+1 is going to be coming in now for SpeCial. We also see the centrifugal hooks being upgraded for Serral. So we're going to have that roly-poly upgrade. We're going to also see the two... We're also going to see, of course, a lot of Zerglings coming out now for Serral. Serral's got a lot of these Zerglings that are going to be coming out onto the playing field, and that could be a little bit scary. Now, here's a question: you got some Zerglings as well as now a couple of Banelings morphing in. I'm wondering who is going to get the edge in this engagement, because it looks like both players want to get a little bit aggressive. It does look like SpeCial is going to try to clear out some of these creep tumors. And he is going to start to move on to creep. And this always makes me very nervous when a Terran player decides to go kind of far onto creep, because you just never know if there's going to be any kinds of significant issues. It does look like those Zerglings are going to start moving in towards that third command center. Not doing a whole lot of damage. And it looks like, oh, those Banelings are going to start to roll in. And just like that, though, the beautiful pickup as the infantry weapons and infantry armor upgrades are just finishing up now for our Terran player. We are going to see another drop, it looks like. Some of these Zerglings are ready for the drop play, and there's a lot of Marines here, but a lot of course, the reinforcements are coming in for Serral, and it looks like they're just going to simply pick up and continue moving onward, as that third base is now up and running for SpeCial. So we're kind of moving into that 8.5 minute mark. Just very interesting play by both of these players so far. I mean, you gotta give it to them. We are going to see those +1/+1 upgrades coming in for out of the evolution chambers for Serral. So the melee attacks and ground carapace are going to be finishing up here in less than 10 seconds, and SpeCial is going to continue this harassment, and I love it so much. He's going on that +2/+2 upgrades, and this is where it's going to get very interesting, because the upgrade game is going to go heavily in favor of SpeCial moving forward now. And is this going to, you know, really lead into a significant lead for SpeCial here shortly? As far as the supply is concerned, it doesn't look like, you know, it looks like Serral is still ahead in the supply game. But right now, we have SpeCial is really everywhere. He is all over the place, dropping units. He's trying to, you know, clear out creep. He's got more units that have moved across the map here, and they're going to start trying to do a little bit of some damage to that natural base expansion. But nothing too crazy as of yet. We are going to see the Hydra starting to come out. Muscular Augments is going to be finishing up here in a few seconds. We are going to see the Infestation Pit is up, so now Serral is going to go ahead and get that wants to start upgrading to the hive-based units. I love the position right now that SpeCial's in, though. He is really playing this thing absolutely brilliantly, and it looks like some of these units are going to start to move on creep, pretty far on creep once again. Got to be very, very careful. But once again, it does seem like SpeCial is, he's pumping out a lot of units at this point. He's also going to be moving in, you know, to that gold base expansion as well. Some nice micro here. We are going to see, you know, the army compositions of both players. I mean, we're talking a Lingbane Hydra composition here for Serral. Now, these +2/+2 upgrades, infantry weapons, infantry armor, are just finishing up now for Serral. Or, I'm sorry, for SpeCial. And that is where this is going to, you know, as far as the upgrades are concerned, this is where SpeCial can really take advantage because of the upgrade game. He's got a lot of these upgrades are, you know, he's more heavily upgraded with his units. He's going to shred so many of these units so quickly. A lot of these units are starting to move in, and lots of damage is being dealt by SpeCial. SpeCial's clearing out so much creep as well at this point. He's on that gold base now, so he's going to start, you know, of course, mining on that gold base. He's going to have such a booming economy here shortly. But Serral, of course, is not out of this thing just yet. He is the type of player who will be able to pull a rabbit out of a hat, you know, to say the least. I mean, he is absolutely so good at his defense, and he's definitely not out of this thing just yet. And now he's got a little Zergling run by. It looks like he is going to try to execute at this point, going right after this this fourth base expansion. It does look like they're going to get a lot of damage in here. Beautiful play here, as you know, this would be a massive pickup for our Zerg player, but it looks like just barely not going to get it. Those Zerglings, though, did, you know, some lost mining time there on that gold expansion. But just look at this army. I mean, SpeCial is really halting all of the production as far as, you know, the creep production, and he's going to start to continue moving onto creep here. He's splitting up his army in a pretty nice way, but it looks like Serral has had enough. He's going to go right after all of these units, and I think SpeCial may have just once again overextended just a little bit. I mean, and this is exactly what we're talking about. When we talk about Serral as the best player on the planet, you give him an inch, you know, it's so hard to regain. And now with the Ultralists that are coming out onto the field, can SpeCial at this point, you know, really continue, like, continue onwards, essentially? Is he going to be able to hold any kind of aggression now from Serral? So Serral knows now that he is in he's in the lead. He's got, of course, he's on that gold base. He keeps expanding to other, you know, other parts. I mean, he's got pretty much an entire half of the map is Serral's. Adrenal Glands is just finishing up for those. For the Zerglings, infantry weapons level 3 as well as infantry armor are just finishing up as well. If I am SpeCial, I am moving right now. You have got to make a move, but it looks like Serral's going to make the decision for him. Serral's going to start to move in on this fourth base location at the same time. He's got a Zergling run by that's going after the natural base expansion, and those Adrenal Glands Zerglings are going to do so much damage to so many of these SCVs, and this is where Serral can just take such a significant lead against his opponent. Just absolutely brilliant play throughout for our Zerg player. Now Serral, or I should say SpeCial at this point, I mean, you know, not out of it yet. Certainly not out. But, you know, he's taken such a significant amount of losses, and this army of Serral is just getting scary. He's switching it up. He's going for that Spire. Probably going to go for the Greater Spire as well, most likely. Missile attacks level 1 is going to be finishing up here in a couple of seconds now for Serral. But once again, SpeCial's going to try to slow push his opponent. But time and time again, we always see Serral just, you know, even if you have a decent, you know, you're trying to slow push him, he doesn't lose his composure. He just continues doing exactly what he needs to do to obtain the victory. I mean, there's a lot of siege tanks here. And a proper engagement would spell disaster, could spell disaster for Serral. if he does not take a good fight here. But it looks like he's going to jump on this army once again. There are a lot of these siege tanks, but there is just so much Zerg at this point. They are just rolling in. The Banelings, the Ultralists, the Hydras are just completely squashing this army once again. And now it looks like he is going to start moving in towards that 4th base location. But smartly, Serral does back off. You know, he's got that ground carapace level 3 that's going to be finishing up here in less than 10 seconds. You know, it's hard to tell at this point, guys. I mean, Serral, in my opinion, is way ahead of SpeCial. And I mean, SpeCial had him. Once again, it felt like SpeCial had the game. But somehow, some way, Serral just consistently kind of weasels his way back into the game and does not lose his composure. And this is why we're talking best player on the planet, without a doubt. Now, as I said, though, oh, and once again, losing those medevacs. That is just such critical losses right now. Serral is firing on all cylinders at this point in the game. Just beautiful play here by our Zerg player. He's going to start to move in now to that 4th base location, that planetary fortress. He's got a lot of units, and it does look like with the Vipers now that are going to be controlling the skies for our Zerg player. The question that remains, though, did he overextend a little bit? It does look like the ghost switch comes out in the nick of time for SpeCial. But at the same time, we see another planetary fortress that is under significant fire at this point, and Serral takes it out with relative ease, and now he's going to continue moving in, going after more and more of these units. It does look like another Zergling run by. But this is all just, you know, exactly what Serral's trying to do. He's trying to, you know, he's got an army that's ready to go after one army is down, right? He has such a booming economy. He has 1,600 minerals. He's got, you know, almost 1,000 gas. I mean, he is absolutely on top of it right now. And once again, another medevac goes down as the main army is being attacked once again. Serral is not letting up at this point. So many Banelings are starting to roll in towards all of these siege tanks. The question remains, will they last? And it looks like they're actually going to try to go after all of those ghosts. The ghosts are going down. GG is called, and Serral takes a commanding 2-0 lead over his opponent by playing some absolutely textbook Zerg play. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Serral and SpeCial, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.